Hello folks, it's Gordon here, hope all is well with you. And this video I've called A Story About Mr. Smelt. Now, I'm laughing. I was laughing last night when I came across this story. Laughing hysterically, I was giddy with laughter. I was probably giddy because I'd finished my tax return and I was feeling in a silly mood. And it's only a couple of days after the birthday of Oliver Hardy, and I'm a big Laurel and Hardy fan, and this story just hit my funny bone. I was laughing about it, and I realised that it was exactly this kind of thing that social media was invented for, because I found it on social media and I'm going to share it on social media. So, a friend of mine over on Facebook had shared an article about the price of drinks in pubs, that the price got more expensive as it got later in the evening. So in other words, the more drunk you got, you were being ripped off because you were being charged more, basically. And this chap, a friend of mine from the northeast of Britain here, had said he first learnt about that from sports game teaching legend Steve Smelt. And now, hang on, as soon as I read that, I thought, hang on, Steve Smelt, a teacher called Mr. Smelt. Yes, it's true. And this friend posted back that he left schools to go and be a physio for Middlesbrough Football Club up in the northeast, and then went on to Sunderland, also in the northeast, and spent a good few years physios at these clubs. And I thought, I'm not having this, I'm gonna Google it. So Google is my friend, and I've talked about the internet being an abundance of opportunity because all the information is out there. I thought there can't be that many people called Steve Smelt, particularly who are physios. So I typed in Steve Smelt physio into Google, and up he came. Lots of pictures. And I clicked on one of the pictures. And it turns out that, yeah, he was a physio at Middlesbrough and Sunderland. And it turns out, now this really made me laugh, never mind the fact that it was a teacher called Mr. Smelt, that he had a column in the matchday programmes called Felt by Smelt. Because he was a physio at the club. So if you were injured, you were going to get felt by Smelt. Now, people in the northeast, in my perception, have generally got a great sense of humour. And if you're a teacher with the name of Mr. Smelt, you're going to have a sense of humour, because you are going to be on the end of a lot of it, aren't you? With a name like that, if you're teaching. So he had a column in the matchday programmes called Felt by Smelt, which was hilarious. And then I clicked on another picture of him, which made me laugh even more. And it's a picture of him helping carry a stretchered player off the pitch. And the story made me laugh. That story. The player was a Sunderland player called John Kay, and he was playing. The match was in 1993, and he'd broken his leg. And he was the physios and doctors that come on, including Steve Smelt, and Steve Smelt was helping stretcher off this player John Kay with a broken leg. But the funny bit, none of that is particularly funny, of course, but what was funny was that the player John Kay, as he was being taken off on the stretcher, pretended that he was rowing off. So he was going like this with the paddle as he was being stretchered off with a broken leg. That is hilarious. So one story about him, school teacher, being called Mr. Smelt, led to another funny story about him having a column in the programme called Felt by Smelt, which led to another funny story about this player doing this when he was being stretchered off the pitch with a broken leg. Oh, hilarious. That gave me such a laugh last night. I thought, I've got to share that. And that, my friends, is what social media was invented for. None of this shouting at people and arguing and nonsense, all of that. No, that's not what social media are for. Social media was for sharing stories just like that one. So let me know what you think. What's the funniest teacher that you had, the funniest teacher's name that you had when you were at school? Or were there no teachers with funny names? There's normally a teacher with a funny name, at least one. So I'd love to hear what you think, particularly of my stories about Steve Smelt, the physio. Signing off for now, wishing you guys ever health and happiness. I'll speak to you again soon.